Have you seen that replay, buddy?
All right, man, I'm done talking to you.
You can't be done talking to me right here facing me.
I back. Trust me, I back.
Damon! 60 G's, baby!
But I'm not impressed by your performance.
It's normal. Come on, guys. It's normal.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
I'm the man of the hour, Joe. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. I'm the women's pick. I'm the men's regret. And if you win against Chael Sonnen, you made a bad bet.
I don't have much left to say other than you have seen nothing yet.
What's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? Them, we are back with another episode of Don't Stop Shakedown, and tonight we are rocking with the EFC lightweight champion, Adrian Sanchez. How you doing, brother?
Here we go. What's up, guys? Nice to see you with my belt.
That's our boy right there with the gold on his shoulder. He promised us that he was going to bring the gold back after he wins this fight. He was here just before the fight, done a breakdown of the fight, and is back with the gold, just like he said. How you doing, Adrian, man? How's life been treating you as a champ? How's everything with you, brother?
It's good, man. It's good. I mean, I'm very, very happy to be in this position now with the belt. It's good, bro. Like I said, it's been like 10 years, me running after this piece of gold, and now I finally have it. And it just feels like I've really accomplished something big, you know, and I'm happy to have it here on my shoulder. I'm still me. I'm still myself. I've got to carry this heavy belt around with me now. So
we love it. We love it that you're still you. You know what I mean? You haven't gone Hollywood on us. You know what I mean? Even though you've gone Hollywood, but you haven't gone Hollywood. You know what I mean? We see on your socials. Anybody that's not following Adrian Sanchez on his socials, go and check out his Insta. You see all the fights on there, all the preparations, the aftermath, and you know how life is looking for Adrian Sanchez right now, man. You know what I mean? Yo, talk to me, man. And when you watch Adrian Sanchez now to the Adrian Sanchez that we saw before the fight, the Adrian Sanchez that we know before the fight, just look how glistening he is, man. You know what I mean? Talk to Adrian, brother.
Look, when you say glistening, all I see is that title on his shoulder glaring at me right now. I can see my reflection. Adrian, what an achievement. We are so proud of you, so proud of PFA. What you guys did on that evening was amazing, phenomenal, and well-deserved at this point. You deserve this title. It's time to go and get that undisputed. That's where you're going. We know that's what you're going to get. And, man, thank you so much for that performance. I mean, that was an amazing fight. Like, well done and congratulations. Like, we are so proud of you here at Don't Stop Shakedown and Kick Him in the Head. Like, it's been a long time coming, but here we go, here we are. And I know we're going to talk about this a bit later on, but I know how much this title means to you and winning it when you won it. So, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, y'all. Yeah, it's good to be here, man. I can't wait to tell you guys more.
Oh, bro, you know what? Let's start right there. I mean, preparing for the fight, we spoke to you before the fight, but tell us, you know, I mean, what was as you made the walk into the cage, as you know, your emotions, having your family around you as well, going into the fight. What was the whole preparation, the whole mindset going into the fight before the bell even rung? Tell us.
Well, I mean, first of all, the fight was in Cape Town, and having fought for the belt, obviously in front of my home fans, and being at home where my friends and my family and everyone close to me can be there, especially like the guys from the gym, you know, they're always saying, "I want to come watch you fight," and so on. So that was very special for me. And yeah, I mean, if the preparation was such an awesome experience. I mean, from the press conferences that we had, the media day, everything. I mean, geez, we were all, myself and Tumelo were suited up. We stole the show at the media day, and then we went and had our shoot with the belt for the first time, which was quite a little bit of like an emotional moment for me, because it was like the first time I got to see this belt and hold it in my hands, and I was like, I felt like, yo, this is destiny. Like it was finally tangible and in my hands. And then, yeah, fight night happened. I mean, we had a full team there. Myself, Tumelo, we had Yassine and Jaden. So there was 4 of us fighting from PFA. And we kind of had Faiz under our umbrella as well. So there was 5 of us because Faiz was joining in with us now and then for the fight camp and training camp. So we all like worked together. So it was actually 5 for PFA and for Mikey. And so yeah, we all got there. It was a nice big group and a crew because, you know, we used to going to Johannesburg and then it's like you and your coach, and then you feel kind of outside and like you're far away from your home base and stuff. But this time everyone was there. We had our own dressing room, like all our coaches were there, and it was Jess was there, the kids were there, and it was just such a nice atmosphere. I even had a nap before. I had my hands wrapped. And I had a nap before the fight. I'm probably gonna post some content about that soon. But I had a nap before the fight. I was so relaxed. It was just like an awesome vibe. And then the crowd. Oh, I get goosebumps now thinking about it. But the crowd was insane. It was insane. Making the walk from the back through to the cage was mad. Like I just had to stand and take everything in for a moment. Like I tried to walk as slow as I possibly could, just seeing everybody, seeing the grand arena basically packed to the rafters. And then walking down, I saw a very close friend of mine who was like right there. He came and gave me like, you know, shook my hand, gave me a hug. And then the next person I saw was my dad. And then I was just like, okay, like I'm ready to go in there and do business. Gave him a hug, gave him a kiss. And then there was another friend. I don't know if you guys know. Siv was there. Siv Mingisi was there. He shook my hand. He trains at our gym as well, so it was nice to see him because we were also chatting about like the fight, and he was amping me up. And then got to say the final, like, you know, well wishes from my coach and the team. And it was nice because my corner, obviously Mikey was there. And then my teammate from Paul, Cameron, he was in my corner as well. And it was really good to have him there because, I mean, when I started getting the win streak going, you know, I was at Yorkshire, so it was nice to have him there. And then I had Hamza, which is there, which is Mike's son. He was in the corner as well, so it was a nice experience for the youngster to be there. And then we had Connor, who was also there, who was my grappling coach and helping me out. So it was a nice, like, solid corner, you know. And then anyway, we go into the ring and we have the pre-fight face-off and chat with the referee. And then, you know, this is the fight goes down. There was a lot of respect between myself and my opponent. You know, we showed a lot of sportsmanship and there wasn't any like bad mouthing or like, you know, bad blood or anything like that. I mean, he also couldn't really speak English, so, you know, he just kept to himself. So, but I spoke to him here and there. So yeah, then when the cage door closed, it was fight time, man. And we went 5 rounds with each other. He got that guillotine on me in the first like few seconds, and I thought to myself, I was like, no, man. I was like, I'm not gonna let this happen. I panicked just a little bit, but at the same time, I was like, nah, I'm not letting this happen. And I could feel it was in, but it wasn't like properly choking me. And I could feel he was squeezing his arms, but
yeah, it looked tight. It looked tight on TV, bro.
It was tight, but it wasn't like slotted in properly. It was like half.
Right.
And I could feel he started to gas in his arms. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till he gasses, then I'm gonna pop my head out. And then when I popped my head out, I was like, okay, it's go time. And then just grinded the hell out of him for 5 rounds. At the end of the first round, actually, he like the bell went or whatever, and he stood there and he was like staring at me. And I stared him down, and I looked at him and was like, bro, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for 5 rounds. You're gonna have me for 5 rounds. And then that's exactly what happened. We went 5 rounds. The third round, he rocked me, which I thought I was like, oh flip, here we go again. I'm going down. But I recovered quickly, got back on my horse, grinded him out, and then I just started landing these knees, those devastating knees that like really, I think, rocked him. Yeah. I managed to get the ground and pound going on him as well, which I also smashed the shit out of him. And then the 4th round, I was buggered. Like, I remember at the end of the round going to my corner and my legs were done. Like, I was tired. I knew I had 1 round left. And the first thing I did was I get to my corner and I'm looking for the stool to sit down. So as they put the stool down, I want to take my seat. Mikey grabs me and he pulls me in and he says, "Put your hands on my neck." So I put my hands on his neck and he says to me, he says, "Do you want the stool or do you want the fucking belt?" So I said, "I want the fucking belt." So he's like, "Okay, now you're going to stand here and you're going to show that motherfucker that you're not tired." So I was like, "Okay, fine." Now in my head, I'm like, "Bro, I want this fucking stool." But after he told me that, I was like, "Okay, this is the last round, championship round. Let's go. We finish this thing. I finished this round strong. I've won the fight." And then you can actually see when the fifth round starts, I was like bouncing on my feet. Like I had like this second wind come out of nowhere. And he was standing there with his heavy shoulders. He was like looking at me. And then the fifth round, I just gave him hell. Like the spinning back elbow that I landed, the knees, the combinations I was throwing at him. I managed to get him down. And I remember seeing in the corner of my eye and a lot of the video clips that I watched, Dricus was going crazy because it happened like right in front of me. The guy was jumping up and screaming. He was going mad. And it was it was an intense round. And there was also moments in the fight where I was talking to the guy and I was telling him, I'm like, "Listen, bro, I'm the champ. I was like, you might as well just let me win because I've got this one in the bag. Like, I'm the champ." And then, anyway, the fight ended, showed him respect. And I knew I'd won the fight. It was without a doubt that I won the fight. And then, when they called my name as the winner and they threw that belt around me, I just all I could shout was like, I knew it. I knew I could do it. It just was a matter of time. And 10 years came to fruition on that night. And I'll never ever forget it. And here we are sitting with the belt now and I'm the champ. And the thing that's like obviously most special for me was that obviously my mom passed away in December, and I was hoping that she would have been around to be there, to see it live, to see me win the belt. But unfortunately, the Lord had to take her away. And it was her birthday the next day. So I told her I'd win the belt for her and I'd bring it back as a birthday present. But unfortunately, she's not here. But I still went ahead and got the belt for her. So that's it. I kept my promise to my mom. And I can't be any more satisfied than that. So it was such an amazing experience. And then being the last one of the 4 guys from PFA to go through and win, Toomey winning his championship as well. And that's another story on its own. I told Toomey a while back, before I went to Paul, even before the knockout that I had against Vince Bembe, I told Toomey, I was like, "Bro, I had a vision. One day, you and I, we're going to stand under that PFA sign, a belt on my shoulder, a belt on your shoulder, and Mikey's going to be in the middle, and we're going to take a photo as 2 champions together." And that's exactly what happened. So I told him we need to go in for full vision. So we went there and we stood there with our belts, Mikey in the middle. We took our picture. We put the belts on Mikey's shoulder, took a photo with him, posted it all over Instagram. And it was a special moment. So I got nothing, no more words to say about it. It's a moment in time that will last forever. We made history that night, EFC history, MMA history. And it will be there forever. And I'll never forget it. It was the best night, one of the best nights of my life for sure.
Yeah, you got something for the champ?
One thing about it, and I think it's one of those things where they say all in God's time, is that he waited until you were in front of the biggest crowd the EFC has had in years to put that title on his shoulder. He waited until Tumelo was on the same card to put that belt on your shoulder. And I think that's absolutely amazing. The only thing, obviously, your mom couldn't make it, but everything else just made it such an amazing experience to watch. And having spoken to you, having known you, having watched your career, it was absolutely amazing to see. And like you said, I love how you ground out your opponent, how you grinded through that entire 5 rounds, because you've never gone 5 rounds before. It's your first championship rounds. And like you said, when you get to the 4th round, it's not the same as 3 rounds. It is not the same. And I don't fight, but you can see it's not the same. It's a lot more effort, and you were there for it. You made sure that you got through those rounds, and you pressed your opponent. And in the 4th and 5th, you could see easily you were winning that fight because you had stamina. He was basically just defending. There was nothing he could do. You were all over him those last 2 rounds, and it was fantastic to watch. So how are you feeling about, obviously, defending this title. Now you've had what we can call the biggest stage to get the title on. How are you feeling about having to defend this title now?
I'll tell you what, defending the title, I have a lot more confidence defending it than I did attaining the belt. Because now I'm the champ. I've proved to myself that I can do it. Now I've got it. Now it's just about continuing the momentum that I have, continuing what I've been doing, because obviously what I've been doing has been working. So it's given me a lot more confidence in my ability, a lot more confidence in my training. And I just believe that now that I have this belt, I'm going to keep it. And I have much more confidence knowing that, like, I'm the champ now. I've done it. I've proved it. So I'm open. Let's go. I want to defend this belt. I believe, and I go with that old saying that you're not really a champion until you defend your belt. And I'm keen to do that. Like, I want to prove now that I am the real champion, whether it be against Martin, unifying it for the undisputed belt, or whoever else it is that they need me to fight. That's always been my thing with my career. Doesn't matter who it is, I'll fight. Now that I'm the champ, doesn't matter who it is, I'll defend, and I'll do the best to keep the belt. So yeah.
You know what?
Quick one. Did you just call Conor McGregor a fake champ? You said if you don't defend, you're not a real champ. Sorry,
well, bro,
take it away.
Everyone's different. Conor McGregor is Conor McGregor. We all know that. But for me and myself, I want to defend. Like, I want to defend. I really want to prove that I am the top of the division, which I know I am, and I believe I am. So let's go. I want to do it. Let's go. Otherwise, I've got other opportunities that are waiting, that have already approached me and stuff like that. But, we taking our time. But I do want to defend the belt. That's for sure. I definitely.
Yeah, man. Let me come to the comments real quick before I jump on the next question with you. You know what I mean? A lot of people are showing you love here. We've got MMA normally, you know what I mean? Let's fucking go, Adrian, the legend. Yeah. We got the case file say, is the belt heavy? It looks good on you, champ. It looks nice on you, brother.
I've been telling everybody, they ask me, I'd say, I've been letting everyone hold the belt. I'm like, yeah, hold the belt. And they're like, yo, this is heavy. I say, yeah, it's heavy. Because now you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder. Now that you're the champion. You got to carry it now, man. There we go.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, brother. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
There we go. Heavy is the shoulder that carries the belt, man. That's what I'm saying.
Let's go. Hey, Leroy just shouted you. I said, big up, congrats, Ryo, on winning the belt. The champ is in the building. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got more people in here. Please make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're showing love to the champ. Drop your comments in, and we will be putting it on. Normally said here, what an incredible story. I mean, it's not just your story, as Yao just said just now as well. As special as your story is, but to then share it with your comrades that you've been on the journey with, that you've been grinding for so many years to get to this point. Toomey went on a different path. I went on the Ultimate Fighter as well. Shout out to Tumelo as well. My bones are still that brother. He's been putting in work, trying to realize his dreams, and he realized on the same card. And I want to give a special shout out to your coach as well, Coach Mike. I mean, that brother, the way we've always spoken about him every time you've been on the show, how he's been with you. But what is the feeling like in the gym since you guys, after the fight, you're back in the gym, you're back grinding? What's the feeling like? How is the rest of the gym looking at you now? And what's the intensity like? Are they bringing it to you? Are they trying to test you in the gym now, Adrian? Are they testing you in the gym?
Yeah, look, it's been great, in the gym. A lot of love, a lot of respect, and a lot of people taking a lot of inspiration from it and motivation from it now. I remember the Saturday after the fight, the first Saturday after the fight, when myself and Tumelo pulled up, I still called him. I was like, listen, we get to the gym the same time. Let's walk in together. And it's a Saturday. Saturday, the gym's pumping. It's like classes are full. There's hardly any space to walk through, anything like that. And as soon as we walked in, everyone just stopped and just started clapping and cheering for us for a good 5 minutes. And then everyone just wanted photos. Everyone's still asking, like, hey, where's the belt? I want to take photos. And, you know, Mike's so happy with us. And I think he's very proud. And he's mentioned that he's very grateful to have two champions on the same night, to have all of us win on the same night. And he told us that, you know, just never mind us having belts and stuff like that. He said to us that before we even had that title, we were champions. And because of our character and how we carry ourselves and how we remain humble and grounded. And I think if we'd never had a coach like that, we wouldn't be humble and grounded and reminded to keep our character in check. And it's just an all-round effort from everybody. And having that mentorship from Mike and the guidance that he gives us, you know, it makes it even greater to be the champion, because now it's like we're more deserving than anybody to have these belts because of who we are as people, not just because of our performance in the cage, you know. And yeah, it's just a happy moment, a happy vibe. It's like the gym's on top of the world. You know, there's a lot of people coming into the gym now that want to train with the champ. There's a few guys on the mat. They're like, hey, you're the champ. Come, let's go. Let's have a roll. And, you know, but it's like, it's all in good spirits and it's all in good faith.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the gym's on a high right now, and we just want to ride it out and enjoy the moment, you know. And I think Mike's record now with champions, I think Tumi was the 5th champion and I was the 6th one, or like EFC champ. That's besides boxing champs and Muay Thai champions and stuff. I mean, his resume will be here forever if we have to go through it. But MMA champions, I'm the 6th one. I think Don Madge was also one under his name. Irshad Saeed was another one. The White Tiger was under his name. And there was a few other guys. I don't know exactly who they were. But Tumi's number 5 and I'm number 6. So yeah, it's a proud moment for him. And especially to have 2 at the same time. It's a big deal.
On the same night?
On the same night. Like, it's crazy.
Yao, I was saying this to Adrian earlier on. I'm gonna bring this to you, Yao. We got some fantastic gyms up there in South Africa. You know, you guys, you've been putting in work. We saw, you know, a few of your fighters have already risen from South Africa into the pinnacle of the UFC. And even one of them becoming champion. But when we're talking about gyms in South Africa specifically, you can't mention CIT without putting PFASA next to it, brother. Talk to me.
What's interesting is that the Cape seems to be on top with the champions these days. Whether they're talking about Terence Balelo, Faiz Jacobs, Luke Michaels, Tumelo Manyamal, all of a sudden, the Cape just has the concentration of champions. KZN is suffering. I don't know the last time they saw a title. So there's a lot of special things happening in the fight community in the Cape, driven by PFASA. I mean, Adrian was also with Yokai. We've got Performance Institute. We've got Troublemakers Gym. So with what PFASA has done now, and like you said, the 6th champion under the same coach speaks volumes. We've got CIT. They've got a world champion. But then second on that list, you have to talk about PFASA because amazing things happen down there under Coach Mike. I think, what's the name? G.I. Jane, Jessica Monami.
Yes.
She's also, G.I. Jess, there we go. So a lot of great fighters come out of PFASA. I'm looking forward to seeing what else you guys bring to the table going forward, how many more titles you can hold. But yeah, Ola, look, definitely if you're going to talk about great gyms in South Africa, you're definitely talking about PFASA. You're talking about all the quality that comes out of Cape Town and out of the Cape area. Like, Adrian, what's in the water down there? Like tell us, what's in that Cape water that's making you guys?
I don't know what's going on, but I think with the time that the EFC has stayed away from Cape Town and just been in Johannesburg, Cape Town has become a sleeping giant. And now with this whole Knox event, this EFC 131 with the Knox hydrate and so on, it's just woken up that giant. And now this giant is hungry and this giant wants more. And with myself and Tumelo getting the first 2 belts now, Faiz, so there's 3 champions now in Cape Town. I would say unfortunate for Luke, but I kind of think he deserves that loss. But anyway, that's a talk for another day.
We're going to talk about
But,
that. I was meaning to ask you about that, but we'll come back to that one. We'll come back to that
I just feel that Cape Town is a sleeping giant that is just awoken now, and I think there's so much more that's to come. Looking at the amateur scene alone, there's a lot of potential and a lot of guys that I feel are going to really make a mark in the professional division once they get there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think the tide is turning now, and Cape Town's starting to it's the beginning of the rise now for Cape Town, for sure.
100%. Yeah, we got McDane is in the house. Big up McDane. McDane says, let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. He says, God Eddie can be here. He would have been here, but we know he's got some things he had to attend to on a personal level. So he said, God Eddie can join you, but congratulations again, brother. Looking forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on another dust-up shakedown with us when we bring you back, Adrian. You know what I mean? But McDane, I can vouch for him, was really, really happy with your win. And shout out to
I think
Kanye.
he made some money off you, if I think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want my 10%.
Right on. Big up Kanye in the house. Kanye says, yeah, the gym's solid now. Now. Yeah, we've missed you on the show, Kanye, man. Shout out to Bestie. Big up yourself. And yeah, the water. I mean, it's them Cape Buffaloes as well, man. You know, they're strong out there, man. They're strong out there in the Cape, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Cape Town. Big up Cape Town, man. So you made a little reference to it yourself, and I wanted to ask you, what you made of the main event, because you were part of the three title fights that was on the card. Sumelo, yourself, and the main event in Diego. And Faiz. Yeah, Troublemaker. Shout out to Troublemaker as well. But I wanted to. I love Faiz's fight, by the way. His fight was crazy. That brother is a fucking machine, bro. The way he fights is a machine. There's no two ways about it.
Sparring with that guy, you can't not get hit. He's sharp. He's sharper than the knives in the drawer in your kitchen. I promise you that. He's devastating. I promise you. Even in sparring, like. And I don't say this to glaze on him or anything. Like, he's dangerous. And when he's turned on and he wants, like, he comes and train, even just with training, he trains with intention. There's no like, I'll go soft today or this and that. It's like everything has intention behind what he does. And spending time with him, when I went with him to Abu Dhabi, I tell him this all the time, but when I spent time with him there, I really got a taste of a champion's mentality. And I was like, this is something I got to take note of, so that when my time comes, I can adjust and kind of approach it in the same way. And when I see him today and we both have the belts, I look at him and he looks at me and I'm like, bro, that time in Abu Dhabi, you showed me something, and I took it and I used it. And now look today. So big ups to him, and like, I got a lot of respect for him outside of the cage, belts and championships and everything aside. Him and Lucille are great people, very down to earth, very chilled, very humble. And I mean, when he has to be Faiz, when he has to be the troublemaker, he puts on a good show, and he plays that number very well. But when he's alone and he's himself, he's like the most chilled and humble guy you'll ever meet. Like, I really got a lot of time for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's like majority of you that we know. But let's talk about the main event of the evening between Diego Bandu and Luke Michaels in the main event of the evening. I mean, what was your take on the build up and the fight in itself? Bro, I know this is uncomfortable conversations for you. And Sanchez is gonna give it straight. Sanchez is gonna give it straight. So let's hear it.
Let me tell you something. I've never spoken to that guy before, but he blocks me on Instagram. So I'm not the one that has problems here. So anyway, my opinion on that guy, he needs to work on himself. Secondly, I didn't like the way he conducted himself and carried himself around with the media. the way he would call out Bandu, his antics and his tactics. I don't know what that guy was trying to do, but he painted such a bad picture and put a bad taste in the mouth of those that watch the sport. Because now it looks at us and they're like, oh, these Cape Town guys, yada, yada, yada. And that's not who we are. So I don't wish bad on anybody. No one deserves to have anything negative happen to them. But unfortunately, I will say unfortunately, Luke Michael brought it on himself. And I congratulate Bandu for the way he conducted himself. And Bandu deserves to be champion. And the way the fight went down is a classic example of a big mouth fighter getting humbled. And with all due respect, I hope that Luke Michael can learn from this and understand that he needs to approach his fights and his whole career in a different way. You can't run around acting big and tough and swearing at people. You know, this guy calls out amateur fighters. He has arguments with amateur fighters. Like, you're a professional, my boy. You're supposed to be an example to these youngsters, and you are telling them "F you" and I'm going to smash your face in and da 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 da. I have to say that Agi the Kraken, the way
Shout out Kraken.
Bro, shout out Kraken. He trolled the hell out of Luke Michael and his whole team, the whole team. And you can't get angry with that guy. You can't. There's nothing you can do to the Kraken because all Luke Michael did was just give him fuel. He gave him more rope to pull on and
gave him lots of KFC.
And yeah, exactly. So I'm happy with the result of that fight.
For those that don't know who we're talking about, is this brother right here.
That's it.
Shout out to Kraken.
Shout out to this brother right
looking
here,
at
man.
this picture, dude.
He's ridiculous.
But, in all seriousness, that is an example of how you should not conduct yourself as a champion, because you talk a big game, then you lose the fight. Now look, you see. So anyway, I hope Luke Michael can fix it, and maybe he comes back and whatever, but he must just learn from it. And congratulations to Bandu, he deserves to be champion, and that's all I have to say.
So here's one more question before you end off there. What about the scale issue? Because I agree with everything you said, yes, but the scale issue is what tipped him right at the end, where we saw the scuffle in the lobby. What's your view on having moved the scale to help a fighter a fighter make weight, and does that not affect the integrity and the calibration? So to me, that's the one thing where, and I saw what Graham said about, we had to make it a title fight, and that was our way of getting it done. But what's your view on that? What if you were Luke and they did that for your opponent?
So they also made Zondi weigh on that scale, just by the way, when they moved it, because Zondi was also having there was something wrong with his weight. So they also moved the scale and they made Zondi weigh on that as well. And then Graham came and spoke to us all about it. He said, we want to make the fights work. We've got title fights, da, 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 da. I don't agree with the fact that no one else could see them weigh and that it was moved and all of that. Okay, cool. But I understand it's a big event. Guys have cut weight already. They don't want to have to now cancel 2 fights or whatever. Cool. But they should have been a little bit more transparent with how they dealt with it. They could have had one of their teammates standing there watching him weigh in. They could have had another official there as a second opinion. They could have recorded it and then showed them. There's a lot of other ways they could have dealt with it, but still, that doesn't call for Luke Michael to run around and swear and carry on and then start a fight about it. You can't get upset with Bandu because he's not the one that moved the scale. He should have attacked Graham. He should have attacked the EFC then, if it was such a problem for you. You know what I'm saying? But still, you don't conduct yourself like that regardless. You got to be professional. Rather sit down and speak to them about it. Try and find out more information. You don't have to go run after the guy and then go and beat him up, and then you have to cancel the main event regardless. You know what I mean?
And then get held back by a featherweight fighter. But then one more question on that one. Sorry,
dude, that body lock was. We're still waiting for the tutorial on that body lock for a step. And when you're dropping it, bro. Dude, that was
so step. We're waiting. We are waiting.
That was perfect head position, perfect entry, the trip. Bro, if he wanted to, he could have slammed the shit out of Luke Michael. That was classic. But I'll tell you what, amongst all these crazy moments and stuff, it was such a colorful, crazy event. It was exciting to see all these things. There was so much drama and stuff going on. But it's memorable. I'll never forget this night. That whole.
So one more question on this one. Sorry, Ola, last one, I promise. So we've just seen Morocco being crowned the African champions 3 months after the fact on an appeal. Luke Michael has appealed that loss. Do you think his appeal will go through and he will be the new former middleweight champion on appeal?
He'll be on still in it.
No, he won't. I don't think he's going to go. No. It's not him appealing. It's not him appealing. It's his wife appealing for him. So, no, I don't think so. Not a chance. He's a bad
You know what? I actually got a topic about that one there. We're going to come to that topic later on, man. You know what?
Dude,
I'm glad.
They're going to serve you lawyers' letters, eh? They're going to serve you lawyers' letters. Be careful, dude.
Don't worry. It's just something that relates to that topic, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm going to come back to that one there later. Good question there, Yao, because it sparked something in my head now. But the one thing I did want to ask you, though, before we get to the some of the topics that we have here tonight, you as a champion, you as the fighter you've always dreamt, because like you said, you've dreamt of being in this position. You've dreamt of being in this for your family. Seeing your dad next to you was just, bro, is a thing of beauty. How happy he was, all of that stuff. What does that now carry for you moving forward, inspiration wise, even doing for the younger ones that that don't know this road, how difficult this road is? Because I know there's a coach in you. You went over to Yokai for a little while. There's that coach in you, but you still wanted to compete as well. But how do you inspire the younger ones now that you're in this position? Because this is a privileged position you're in, my brother.
Well, look, I understand that obviously having this platform now and being in this position as champion, there's a lot of eyes on me. And I just want, if I can say it like this, I just want my career and me being champion to inspire faith in yourself, faith in God, and to always work hard, to never give up, and to always try again. No matter what happens. Like I said, you guys know the story. I had to restart my career multiple times already. And eventually I got there. So the reward is there for the one that never gives up, because you might fail 10 times, but that 11th time you get it right, So get up, try again, keep going, no matter what happens, keep believing in yourself, keep having faith that God has a plan and He will make a way for you to be successful in whatever it is that you do. And remain humble, remain grounded. Don't let anything inflate your ego. You do need an ego in certain instances, but don't allow it to inflate or overwhelm you or control you. And just work hard at it. Don't lie to yourself when you say, I'm working hard. You really need to put the work in if you want to get anything in life. So I hope that whoever's watching is inspired by it to go after the thing that it is that they really, really want. And just go out and do it. Don't wait for anyone to tell you to do it. If it's what you want, go out and do it. And do it properly.
I love it. Fantastic. And that's it. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. Adrian Sanchez. He embodies everything that he's just spoken about. We've been right there with him. We've seen it, everything going on in the background, and and he's as humble as they come. He might have a razor tongue, but he might have a sharp mouth, but he's as humble as they come, man. 100%. Always shoot from the hip, and that's what we love about you, Adrian. We've got some topics here that I wanted to get your thoughts on. We'll go topic for topic. I'll drop you a topic, drop Yao a topic, and get both of you to break down the topic, and then we'll go around the table like that. This one here, actually, let's start with Yao on this one. Yao.
Khamzat Chimaev is set to defend the middleweight title against Sean Strickland at UFC 328. As most of you know, the two previously trained together at Extreme Couture a few years ago. Khamzat has claimed he beat Sean up in training, while Sean insists it was the other way around. Daniel Cormier says one of them is definitely lying.
See, we know that those guys were training together, and at a point it looked like they might have been friends. But when I hear them talk about the training sessions and talk about the way they feel about each other, someone's lying. Because guys, people were in the gym when they were training. Someone was getting their ass kicked. Sean says it was Khamzat. Khamzat said it was Sean. Sean saying, maybe I picked the toughest guy and I'll let him get in position. Somebody knows what happened in those training sessions. You can get a pretty good gauge as to what is going to happen in the fight after those training sessions. But neither one of these dudes are blinking an eye.
Yo, who's lying? Because who's lying, Yao? Tell us. What do you think is lying?
At this point, there's no such thing as lying. It's all just talking game. And you have to talk game because this is a championship fight. Plus, we know our boy, wrong side, normally here has trained with the best. And just because you break your finger getting kicked by the champ does not mean that you got your ass handed to you. It's just training. So when you're sparring, when you're training, when you're rolling.
Oh, no, make no mistake about it. Every time I worked with Islam, I did get my ass handed to me.
Shout out to the champ. But
I'm not going to fabricate anything about that. Those were not good days for me. But I appreciate the confidence from you, bro.
But look, one thing we know about Sean Strickland is that Sean Strickland talks a big game, right? So it's difficult to say that he's lying because we don't know if he's talking big game or whether Khamzat was earlier in his career and whether Sean was more advanced because Sean is older. So it's very, very difficult to say someone is lying. Maybe on that day, someone wasn't going as hard as someone else. Maybe someone was trying to learn from someone on that specific day. So I'm not going to use the word lying, but definitely they must have had a lot of very heavy engagements, I would say, to the point where they can both say, look, I was the one who was beating the other guy up. But knowing Sean Strickland, he's probably talking a big game because if we're talking about grappling and wrestling, we know what Khamzat brings to the table any day of the week. So,
I mean, you just went a long roundabout way to tell us Sean Strickland was lying. You know what I mean? You could have just
I'm a politician. Don't forget, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, I know
that.
you're a lawyer. We know you're a lawyer, man. Shout out to Olin MMA normally in the house, my brother. Salute to you, my bro. I know you wanted to, you thought we were going to start at 9, but you know what I mean? The wall clock is important, man. You know what I mean?
It's my bad. It's my bad.
I always try to let you, man, know, use your wall clock. Yeah? But big up yourself, Olin. Thank you for being here, my brother.
Played myself.
Yeah, we just been talking to Adrian Sanchez before we move on to the next video. You got something you wanted to say to him about his title and, you know what I mean?
I just wanted to say, I already said it in the chat earlier, but I just wanted to say it kind of in person or virtually in person, man. Congratulations. Hell of a fight, hell of a performance, and hell of a journey, honestly.
Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.
Been awe-inspiring to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. We have another video here, and I'm going to come to Adrian on this one. Yeah, this one here is from SA. Let's see what they say.
After Charles Oliveira defeated Max Holloway, Khamzat Chimaev reacted to the fight saying this was crazy highlight fight. Fans found the comment ironic, as Khamzat's recent fight against Dricus du Plessis played out in a similar way, with Khamzat grappling for much of the fight. Dricus gave his reaction to Khamzat's post and says at least Charles went for submissions and didn't just lie on top of Max.
When Max Holloway points to the middle of the octagon, it's time to stand and bang, but at the end of the day, it's still a title fight. Oliveira brought his A game, he brought his strategy, and he executed it perfectly.
Yeah, look, I think if you're looking from a technical standpoint, he won that fight. I saw Khamzat commenting on and saying how boring the fight was. That's kind of rich coming from him. I mean, at least Charles Oliveira went for some submissions. He didn't just lie on top of him.
Despite
Okay. I mean, Drake was taking shots there. He was saying, you know what I mean? I wish Crossover was here, you know what I mean, to hear what DDP had to say about Hamza. But first of all, what did you make of the BMF title fight between Holloway and Do Bronx? And did you
already
agree?
forgot the BMF's name? I understand.
No. So just stop your noise. Stop. Hey, I know your propaganda. We've been talking about this in the chat. And now I know you're hating. You're hating because you got earlier on. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay, I get it. That's your get back. Yeah, you got me. But I ain't forget his name, man. His name is Do Bronx. What did you make of that main event? And on the premise of it being BMF, did you like the turn it took? Because a lot of people didn't really fancy the grappling aspect of it. But did you like how Do Bronx went about it? And what was your take on it, brother?
I was hoping Max Holloway was going to take the belt again and defend it. Because I'm a fan of Max Holloway. I like the way he fights. But, I mean, from a fighter's perspective, man, if you got a strategy and it works and you can implement it, then so be it. If the fight's boring, then, that the fight's boring, but I won the fight still and I'm the champion. I would have loved to have seen a lot more striking, but what Charles did it, like they said, he was technical, he implemented his strategy and he got it right, and he shut down Max Holloway and took away his strengths, and he won the fight. But for having Hamza comment saying, "Oh, what a boring fight," I mean, bro, I gotta agree with, because you basically fought the same way that Charles did. Maybe with, like you said, less attempts on submissions. There was less time there. Like, I mean, there was times where you could have finished Dricus in that crucifix, but all he did was did little like tap shots, and that to me is like stupid, my bro. Why didn't you just finish the fight then if you did that? But
he's doing the finger punch, like he literally punched him on the nose with his finger.
I mean, he punched him with a finger for most of the fight. He looked like he was jerking off a small midget. I mean, it was. What are we doing here, boys? Come on.
But it was a good fight. I think it was a good fight. Obviously not the result I was hoping for.
Yeah, Olin, let me bring this to you, Olin. Let me bring this to you, Olin, real quick. I mean, do you think? And I know how you felt about the fight, right? And most people that follow you on socials, on your Twitter, they'll probably get the gist of how Olin felt. He went too pleased, to say the least. And this is someone that loves grappling, by the way. You know what I mean? That's one of the parts that shocked me. But I know you was talking about on the premise of it being a BMF, right?
Yeah.
But the question I want to ask you, is: Do Bronx winning it, does that not open a whole different, diverse door to other kind of challenges in that field, like a Paddy Pimblett that's also got very good jiu-jitsu, that we know can hang, because we've seen him hang with Gaethje. He hung in there with Gaethje, yeah? So we know he can hang. We know he can hang in. We know what Gaethje is capable of. Gaethje couldn't get him out of there. He tried. God knows Gaethje tried.
Gaethje's a D1 wrestler that forgot he was a D1 wrestler once he figured out he had hands. Like, let's just call a spade here, boys. Like, I love Gaethje. I say that as a Gaethje fan. I met him last year at International Fight Week. He's a great dude. But he doesn't utilize his grappling nearly enough. And I agree, Paddy is slick on the ground. But against somebody like Charles, I just think he's going to get neutralized. I think if we want to see a real challenge for Charlie Olives, we got to see Arman Sarukian get a chance at the BMF. If they're not going to let him challenge for the real belt, put him in there with Charles. He'll make it an exciting fight. I promise you that much, at least.
Now, they could have, again, another question right back to you, Olin, before Yao gets in there. We're talking about Dana White here, which we're going to come back to later. If Dana had to choose between Paddy and Arman to go for the BMF against Do Bronx, I mean, you do the math. You're a
Dana
numbers
White
guy.
privilege.
You're a numbers guy.
Come on, Paddy. Come on. We already know what's happening there. He loves Paddy. Paddy, and then a big difference is Paddy puts asses in seats. And Paddy needs this. Paddy wants this. He wants a legacy. He wants the championship at some point in time. And, you know, he's not rich outside of this like Armand.
I tell you right now, if he brings Paddy to Anfield,
I've been saying it for years, dude. That's what needs to happen.
Or
do it
to
for the
Wembley,
BMF belt.
On that BMF belt. It's a sellout. 80,000 said it's selling out, bro.
But playing devil's avocado
it's
here.
Selling out.
If they do that and Charles goes out there and masterclasses the boy, people are going to die. Like, there's going to be riots in the streets, my boy. It's not going to be good for the sport.
It's going to be a mad one. But these are all
I'm just trying to think ahead here.
Right?
I don't like the way that looks visually.
I think right now, because of the style, and this is a Charles Oliveira that's got some fucking badass knockouts in the fucking game as well, bro.
He does. He's smart. He's technical, and he can get it done on the feet. But I mean, the big,
not against Holloway, but he could get it done on the feet against another fighter. Maybe he might knock somebody else out if they put Paddy in there with him. Maybe
my question is,
if he fights Paddy, he might.
We say Arman Tsarukyan, and I agree with that with what Arman's been doing outside of the UFC right now, because he is showing that he is a bad motherfucker, period.
He's a scary guy.
But he's already beaten Charlie Olives. We saw that crazy axe kick he hit Charlie with. So, I don't know. Is he the right person to come in as BMF? But who else would Charlie face for the BMF title? Is there anyone that we see that's not Arman Tsarukyan? Because that's not likely, because
Tony Ferguson's coming back to the UFC.
That's the thing. So who would be there to fight to actually take that BMF title?
Blades and shades, baby.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Volk going up to fight for it. Just putting that out there.
I wouldn't mind that. I think that
I wouldn't mind Volk going. If Volk got in there with Islam twice, I don't see why he can't go in there and fight Charles Oliveira for that belt. Why not?
Brother, what kind of itch you got going on your chin right now, big?
Yeah, that salt is troubling him, man. That salt is troubling him real bad. You know what I mean? Seriously. But yeah, I think it's something Volk could go up to do, man. We'll see. But Arman is a good name. Paddy's definitely put a call out for it. He'd like to, you know. He said, "Boy, let's."
Outside of those names, Ola, like the only other option is the one that nobody wants to see. But it is the one that almost makes the most sense, right? He's fought his way back up. Ilya Aptoro. You know, Ilya would take the fight only because you know, fuel of a ting. Like I genuinely think stand your fucking base. I fucking love Connor, dude. He's so good.
Connor's crazy.
But again, Ilya would take the fight because he knows Charles, unlike Max. No offense to Max, I love Max. Charles is the type of guy that would say, "Yeah, if I win, I unify the BMF and the world lightweight, the world lightweight belt." And he would be willing to put the BMF belt on the line. Max never did that when he fought Ilya. That would be appetizing to Ilya because technically he would become a triple champ, right? Because he would have 2 weight class championships and the BMF belt. New accolade unlocked. And he'd be the first ever to be the champ of the weight class and unify that with the BMF belt.
Yo.
He's all about legacy. We know this.
Mathematics.
Interesting.
The math. The math is mathing out, brother. That math tracks.
I got one here. I got one here for you. Yao. I got one right here for you. We're gonna go through the video and then get you to see break it down for us. Let's see it.
Aljamain Sterling previews his upcoming fight against Yusuf Zalal on April 25th. Aljo also reflects on training with Zalal years ago, back when he was still competing in the bantamweight division.
So, my matchup with Yusuf, I think a lot of people are one way or the other. There's not a lot of people who are in the middle like I am. I'm in the middle because I know his style is very, very tough to deal with. I trained with him in Denver in 2017. I was out there for 3 weeks with him and the Factory X guys. And he helped me out a lot for that fight with Rafael Sunsao. And his style has always been the same, but now he's just so much better at it. His confidence is higher. And on top of that, he's not a boy anymore. He's a man. And I remember one of the times we trained out here in Vegas and he grabbed me. He was like, I'm not a little boy no more, Aljo. I'm not a little boy anymore. But I was still at 135, if I remember correctly. And then I was like, that's nice. You're filling that into your body. And we trained one other time, and then we started in bad positions. I remember he choked me. He reversed the position, and then he choked me. And this was like when I'm coming right back from vacation. And then when he got the position, he choked me, and then he had the good position, and I couldn't get out on bottom. And I was just like, I just told him, I was like, this is never going to happen again, just so you know. Just so you know. I was like, just know that this is like vacation form. When I come back and I'm actually good to go, everything's going to be a lot sharper. And then we trained again in Vegas at the PI a couple of times. And I had to remind him, like, I told you that was a one-time thing. But then now, sure enough, here we are, we're about to fight. So training is training. It is what it is. I'm not saying like, oh, I got the better of him, he got the better of me. It is what it is. You're trying stuff. You're trying to work through things. And I think it's a fantastic matchup. He's high level. I think he's one of the harder guys to beat in the division, if I'm being 100% honest.
You've heard what Sterling's had to say there. I mean, we're talking about Zalal, and Zalal is one of the baddest dudes in the division, as he just mentioned. Very, very tough brother to beat. I mean, if you remember back in the day on Nas used to tell us about Zalal, but like this brother here from Morocco is top notch. But how do you see that fight in itself? And the sparring part that he was talking about there, which is what we was talking about Strickland and Hamza earlier on, right? Maybe one fighter caught one on a bad day, and then he's come back the next time feeling sharper, and now them two got face in the octagon. What are you making of the? Yeah, go ahead.
I think the first thing is he's from Morocco, so there's definitely some money in the bank to make sure that he's gonna take it, because that's what they do. That's what the Moroccans do. But with that said, let's talk about the actual fight. I think Aljo might have a slight edge in this one for the simple fact that he sees Zalal as a huge risk. He understands, because he sparred with him, how good he has become. And that, remember, as we always say, it's 50% skill and 50% mental in the fight game, right? And Aljo seems to have that understanding that he can't take this lightly as much as he's the former champ. As he said in his interview there, Zalal has that confidence of being on a 10-fight win streak, having beaten Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar in crazy fights, good wins he's got. So he's on that confidence streak. And sometimes that can get to your head, because you're like, look, I'm on a 10-fight winning streak. I've faced this guy before. I am the one who's going to win this fight. Versus Aljo, who's looking at it and saying, this guy's a big risk, big danger. So for me, I'm looking at the mental side of what Aljo said, of him being calm and cognizant of the fact that Zalal is a very, very, very dangerous and now experienced fighter. So I hear what he's saying, and I think that where he is mentally is very good, but Zalal's going to give him a hell of a fight, and it could go either way. But, you know, Aljo's a very experienced fighter. He's looking at it the right way. He's going to consider what to do and what not to do in this fight, whereas Zalal's probably going to come in to fight, because that's what he does. And that might be the downfall for him in this fight.
Olin, you have a couple nice things to say about Zalal. Do you want to tell us about your encounter with him, and you know how you see this fight going?
Yeah, I got to meet him twice at International Fight Week. This last time was definitely the best. I was standing in line to meet all the fighters on the stage at the UFC X event, and Rude Boy Randy Brown kept like staring at me in kind of a weird way. And when I got right past Zalal and we had interaction, and he was hella funny, like he did a face off with me. He's like, "Oh man, you're hella scary, man. You were like super serious with it, bro. You scared me a little bit." And Mary's like, "Thanks for inflating his ego, bro." And then like when I met up with Rude Boy, we did the stare down as well. He was doing bunny ears behind me and shit. Like he's just a goofball. Like Zalal's just a great time. And I found out the reason that Rude Boy was staring at me is because he remembered popping in my podcast a couple times. And he's like, "Were you here last year?" And I was like, "I didn't get to meet you last year, but I was here. But I do a podcast online, and you've been in the live chat a couple times." He's like, "Oh, what was the name again?" And I said MMA Anomaly, and he's like, "Dude!" And he gave me a big hug. Like both guys trained together, really nice dudes. And again, like I love seeing guys up there that, you know, are showing their personality, being themselves. And you know, outside of the cage, Zalal has been an absolute fucking minion, or a Moroccan devil, right? Just like the nickname states. Inside of the octagon, If he can pressure you, he will pressure you and just cook you to the bone. And if he can't, and you present a lot of problems like a Josh Emmett, where he knows you have the nuclear option, good luck, bro. I hope you got your cardio in this camp because you're chasing this motherfucker and he's on a bike, you're on foot. That's probably what it feels like going in there against somebody like him. He has quick footwork. The jab is a piston, bro. It's motor-like, the way that he throws that jab. Just pop, pop, pop. Just fires it right down the fucking line. Fully turns it over almost every time he throws it, too. It's a weaponized jab. It's not just a rangefinder out there like a lot of guys throw. Like Adrian, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of guys will just throw like almost a Wing Chun jab where it's just to set up the next thing for them. But if you're turning that shit over and you're torquing your shoulder into it, you'll hurt somebody with a jab. I've seen you hurt people with the jab. Yeah, like everything that he throws, it does have intention on it. And I'm not saying all this to say that it's going to be a one-sided bout or that I think Zalal's going to go out here and run through Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain is somebody that I've liked for many years. I'm a huge fan of his. But for this type of fight, he has to bring out the Aljo that we saw like 3-4 years ago. He's really got to embrace the funk master side of things. The way that he was striking with Petr Yan in the first fight up until the DQ happened, like keeping him on the edge of his feet, moving forward, not letting him find his range. That is how you defeat somebody like a Youssef Zalal. You cannot let him settle in. You cannot let him dictate the pace, and you cannot let that motherfucker lead the dance, bro. If you do, you're going to get waterboarded across 3 to 5 rounds.
And the one thing as well, and I know Aljo's sick of this as well, but Zalal's fucking jiu-jitsu is slick and dangerous too, bro.
That's why I'm saying I think it's going to be a stand and bang kind of fight, bro. I don't think, like, I think if he goes to the ground with Zalal, I think overconfidence might be the enemy for him.
Yeah, it's slick and dangerous, man. But yeah, I look forward to that fight. You was going to say something? So I
no.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I got a video for you, Adrian. I got a video for you. I got a video for you right here, and it'd be interesting to get your take on this because this could in the future affect you as well. Let's see where. There we go.
Helwani reacts to the announcement of Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry being added to the undercard of the Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano fight on Netflix. He breaks down why this Netflix event could be a major positive for the growth of MMA.
So to me, this was a no-brainer for Nate. Obviously, we'd love to see him fight Conor McGregor. Now, Conor still has 2 fights left. Based on everything I've heard and everything PT said on Friday, we're trending in the right direction. And as we've told you time and again, it's July 11th, International Fight Week. That's what they want. And there was some talk of Nate versus Conor. But would you rather sign a 4-fight deal or would you rather sign a mega 1-fight deal on the biggest platform in the world? It's that fight isn't going away. And by the way, Conor has 2 fights left. What do you think that fight would do on a massive platform like Netflix in a year and a half or so from now? It would be gigantic. It would probably be the biggest fight not named Jake Paul and Mike Tyson that could be made right now. For all intents and purposes. And so the landscape, if they do, and that's why I'm telling everyone, I'm not just saying it because we love Netflix, I love Netflix, it's great for the fight game. This is amazing for MMA. Everyone should be rooting for this. I don't care if you're the biggest UFC stan of all time. I love the UFC. I don't want them to go anywhere. It's great for our life that we have something to talk about, that we have Kevin Vachejos to talk about and all this stuff. If they went away, it would be awful for us. But you need that alternative. And we've never seen the alternative come in this form.
Michael Venom.
So, Adrian, when we talk about alternative form of putting cards, MMA, even high-end cards, maybe not so high-end, like they said with like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and some of the other guys that we've seen fight on a platform like MVP on Netflix. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's good for the sport? In your view, do you think something like this is good for the sport and it opens doors and opportunities for fighters that might not even have the chance, to showcase their skills?
100%, I agree. I actually saw, the first time I saw that Netflix was going to be having this event was today, actually, earlier today. And I think it's a fantastic move going forward. I don't know why the UFC didn't jump on it. I mean, the WWE is also on Netflix now. So I think it's fantastic. And the opportunity, the financial opportunity for fighters is even greater. I mean, guys that that haven't been making much in other promotions or whatever, they get an opportunity to fight there, they're set for life. I mean, you know, they can make up for lost time that they had on events where they weren't showcased as much. So I think it's fantastic. I love that idea. I'd love to fight on Netflix. Fuck. Jake Paul. Shut up.
Exactly what I'm talking about right there, man. You know what I mean?
First time I'm actually agreeing with something that Jake Paul's doing. Fuck. Let's go.
In ideally in the UFC, like Francis Ngannou and Philip Lins wouldn't even be happening. Like, you know, but it's happening on MVP. And that's an opportunity for somebody like Philip Lins.
They're getting Francis back in the octagon. Like, it's been far too long since we've seen that.
Even Nate Diaz. I mean, but fuck.
Exactly. How much of opportunity is it for somebody like a Philip Lins to get in the cage with somebody like a Francis Ngannou that's been there, done it on the boxing scene and on the MMA scene, and he's been in there with the very best of the people that's had to do it. So I like the idea as well.
It's better than the White House card. You know, the White House card is apparently not going to have any sanctioned fights.
That's crazy.
It's a glorified Donald Trump celebration, bro. Like, it's asinine, in my opinion.
Yeah, Adrian,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
What do you think of the White House card? I mean,
sorry to be that guy.
From what they've announced.
Like, I think it's so stupid. It's and no offense, it's just America being America. You know, they want to. No, man, I don't like it, man. They could have done something else instead of the White House card. I think it's just, like you said, it's just gonna glorify Donald Trump's. He's gonna be there with his family, sitting in his garden and watching these guys beat the shit out of each other, and they're probably not even gonna get as paid as much as these guys on MVP. So.
No chance. There's no chance that I would venture to guess that the top 4 people on the MVP card stand to make more money in one night than everybody combined on the White House card.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
and they're gonna have so many more eyes on it because there's no vitriol. It's all just like nostalgia fights that people are excited to see.
This is literally like the way they do fight sometimes in the UAE, where they do these private fights for like the royal family. They get all these guys to fight, but like it's just for the royal family to be there and be like, look, I have power. This is what I can do. I can get guys to fight, like world's best fighters here in my backyard to just fight each other. Look how much power. Just a show of power.
Didn't the Saudi prince put on the Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight like 2-3 years ago?
Exactly.
It's the same shit.
Exactly.
It's the same shit, bro.
Exactly. 100%. That's exactly what I mean.
It's a circus, bro. We already have a promotion called Fight Circus. Let them do these events, folks. Come on. It's doing better.
Right. I got a couple more videos for you guys before we get out of here. Shout out to everybody that's been rolling with us. Make sure you are following Adrian Sanchez on socials, on Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you go and check out his page. Always loading up on there. MMA Normally, Head Kick Pod. Make sure you're following those guys as well. The Rambling Dad. You know what I mean? The Fight Week Show. Making the Walk. Crossover MMA. You know what I mean? Make sure you're showing all those guys some love, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Shout out to my boy Sterling, man. He got ADHD, man. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with that boy. But I love him, man. I love Sterling. He's crazy.
The bus making an early appearance.
I got one video here for you, Olin, right? And the last one is going to come to you, Adrian, because that's the one I wanted to talk to you about on the segue from earlier on, but I'm going to save that till last. Olin, yeah, let's say about this video here and I'll get your take on it.
Sports, he started in boxing, but this is what got him to be the name Dana White, the UFC president, is this. So I can see why the other fighters, I'm trying to think, how do I feel? Wait, I'm like, do I feel jaded by it?
You got money to go.
Yeah, hey, look, but I understand, we know these guys are top class boxers. They're the best in the world at what they do, but so are we. This is the UFC. And if one guy can command that kind of money for one fight, and that's from the same company, Zuffa, and this is what's been keeping the lights on, is the UFC. You know, this is what we love. We love ultimate fighting, not limited fighting. So I don't feel jaded, but I'm like, I want 15 million for one fight too.
Oh, I mean, if you guys are taking kicks to the head and
not even. I mean, like just saying, like.
I feel like because they used to always say, they put in 40 million, the last 10 million.
The company's growing. The company's constantly growing.
Yeah, so again, I mean, because it went from 4 billion, after that they sold it, but with this new deal, the company is worth around 20 billion, which is or like 50. Yeah, I mean, they're saying almost 30 billion.
Okay, the bonus has gone up, but that's not guaranteed.
No, I mean, that's a drop in the ocean.
Exactly, but that's not even guaranteed. Yeah. That's like, but.
Let's get into the fight.
Okay, anyway.
Right. From what you saw there, Olin, we're talking fighter pay, right? And Dana hasn't made it easy for himself, bringing boxing into the fold. And now the fighters are saying, oh shit, we take kicks to the head, we take elbows to the nose, you know what I mean? And you paying those guys that are fighting in 10-ounce gloves 50 million a fight? I want 50 million too.
Sometimes 12-ounce gloves, bro. Depends on the negotiations.
Right? I want 50 million. I want 50 million too. Right? Holloway's one of the guys that's come out and speaking against it as well. We've seen Ronda Rousey, shit on the UFC on fighter pay. I mean, where's your take now? Because we've been talking, fighter pay is something we've been discussing for a long time. You and I and many others that's been on the panel with us, we've talked about fighter pay so many times. But this whole Zuffa boxing that Dana has now gone into and is jacking Eddie Hearn's fighter and he's made this big war out of it to the point now where the other fighters are feeling jaded and disillusioned. I want to go to Eddie Hearn and see if they can get what they're worth, because Aspinall's already done that from the last show that we did. We spoke about that, So talk to me from the perspective, like looking at, especially with your corporate hat on as well, right? Break it down for people like us that don't know shit about what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is boxing has been around for hundreds of years, whereas the UFC. Like, if you ask somebody right now, like, hey, do you train? And they're like, oh, yeah, I train boxing. You respond with, oh, you train boxing. That's really cool. If you say I train MMA, 85% of people in the world that are having this conversation with you, Ola, are going to say, oh, so you train UFC? Or, oh, you do UFC? Like, you guys are all laughing because you've been there. You've had that situation.
Bro,
and it takes everything you have to not be like, you fucking idiot. Like, that's a real thing, right, Adrian? Like, people ask that shit.
You see people, oh, you do UFC?
You do UFC. People would never, like, if you're like, oh, yeah, I play basketball every Sunday with the boys, they wouldn't be like, oh, you do NBA? Wow, that's sick.
NBA? Yeah, exactly.
Like, so, in terms of that, like, boxing is just a full-grown man of a sport, while MMA or UFC is a teenager at best. We're in our adolescent years. So if you ask somebody like a Dana White, who is arguably the most successful creator or president in this space for many years, for at least the last 31 years, hey, can I make $1.5 million because you just paid a boxer $1.5 million? The dude's going to look you dead in the fucking eye and say,
that's fucking illegal.
He's not going to fucking do that. Okay, bro? Like, and then if you go online and you're like, well, he's only paying me $8,000 to show and $8,000 to win.
Federal fucking prison.
That's where you're going, not back to the octagon. You just got cut, kid. You're done. The FBI just opened an investigation on you for no apparent reason. Look, it's wild. Do I agree with it? Not at all. Because I think that MMA, especially UFC as a promotion, they do put asses in seats a lot more often than boxing. Like, you watch a boxing card, or even WWE, which used to shit on the numbers that UFC and all these other promotions would do. Look at the last WrestleMania. What was trending is WrestleMania empty seats. Not WrestleMania awesome. WrestleMania such and such. Empty seats. For 90% of the fucking WrestleMania card, one of the biggest like WWE cards of the year. But UFC cards typically fill up at least halfway through. Again, boxing cards, they're not filling up till the very main event, bro. That's the structure. So, like, are they selling tickets? Yes. Is it great TV? No. UFC puts asses in seats. And if you want to get into a direct comparison, like from a marketing standpoint, for somebody like a Conor Benn versus somebody like an Israel Adesanya, you're talking about guys that have very similar fucking records, guys. 24-1 for Conor Benn in boxing with 14 finishes. Israel Adesanya is 24-5. Oh, and by the way, just knockout finishes. He has 16 of those too. So he has more fights net total and more finishes net total than a guy that they're now paying realistically 4 to 8 times what they're paying this guy. This guy that was a star for them.
It's what you call fuck you money. That's what you call fuck you money.
It is fuck you money. It is. That's exactly what it is, bro. It's fuck you money. Like, and Dana White has plenty of it. They just signed a $7.7 billion contract for the UFC and Zuffa Boxing to stream exclusively on Paramount Plus outside of the White House card.
Adrian wants some of that too.
$1.1 billion a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, like they need to start paying these fighters better. They are working towards it with the guaranteed finish bonuses. I think it's 25 or 50K now guaranteed for every single person that gets a finish on the card. And then they up the performance of the night and fight of the night bonuses to 100K. But if you ask me, it's still not enough, man. Like a finish should be a guaranteed 50 to 100K, depending on the severity of finish. And the fight of the night bonuses, like if we're going to pay these guys peanuts, at least make the bonuses worth their while. Like they should be making easily 200K for these bonuses. They have the money. That 1.1 billion does not even include marketing sponsorships, bro.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Adrian, I mean, what do you got on fighter pay? Like when you look at the scale, the amount of money that UFC is making off of these fighters, and I know all of you fighters, you want to fight in the best promotion because you want to gauge yourself amongst the best in the world. And where you're going to find the best in the world? In the UFC. And that's why people would almost go and fight in there for free just to fight some of the best fighters in the world, right? But on the fighter pay scale, when you're looking at Dana bringing in boxing and paying big ass money to these boxers, but you put a lot of your body on the line, man, to be getting the type of pay that at the very pinnacle of the sport in the UFC, I mean, we were talking about the other time that they're even of not as well promotions that people don't know that much. They're paying way better than the UFC. Places like PFL and some of them other promotions as well. They're paying better money than some of the guys that the UFC pays. Like, what's your stance on it? Like,
real quick, worth noting on the PFL, they just reduced their bonus structure very, very quietly across social media for this season. They cut it in half.
Is this?
Yeah,
I was gonna say
their budgets aren't what the budgets used to be.
No, well, they're not making money. they're paying these fighters very heftily, but they're not making the money that they need to keep that afloat. It's a bad.
So
marketing.
they're not looking at revenue. Yeah, tough right now.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
No. Like they cut it down to 500K. Sorry.
Well, I do believe that MMA fighters should get paid more, but I also have to agree with the fact that boxing has been around longer. So for them to be earning more makes a lot of sense, but I don't think that gap between boxers and MMA fighters should be that big. I think they can increase the general amount or the general pay that us fighters get. But I have to agree, like our sport is still very young compared to like football, for example. I mean, how much do football players get paid? And football is like one of the oldest sports around. So, yeah, it's just, I think in time, there will definitely be more pay for fighters. But right now, I think they can increase it a little bit. But I mean, it's guys mustn't get too excited and think it's going to be the same as boxers. I don't think so. But definitely for the amount, for the amount of our bodies that we're putting online and on the line and things like that, I think we do deserve a little bit more than what we get. At least something that's a little bit more comfortable than what we're getting now, especially for the entry level fighters. On that level, going from amateur or semi-pro to professional. There should be a bit of a jump because it's your profession. It's what you do professionally, and you need. I think the more access to finances that you have, the better your performance can be. The more you can look after yourself, the more you can, you can focus more on your fighting and that kind of thing. but I don't think it will be on the same level as boxing, at least not for now.
I agree with you. Yao, you got to drop off. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Salute to you, brother.
Once
Thank you
again,
for pulling
Adrian,
up.
congrats on the win. When you have that rematch, you know you gotta kick him in the head. Normally, I was.
I did land a head kick, by the way. I did land a head kick.
I saw that. I did.
I
You
did land a head kick. I would have liked
Shout
to
out, boys. I'll
box
see
him
you
after.
soon.
Cheers,
Yeah,
bro.
man. Bless up. Adrian, this is that last video that I was talking to you about, and that was because of something you said before Olin pulled up about the appeal that Luke Michael is making and who made the appeal for him. Right.
Hey, here we go.
Right. So here's a video here, and I want to get your take on this as well. Whether you think this should be happening or not. And if this was your girl, would you be allowing it to happen? Let's have a look.
Mauricio Hoofy criticized Charles Oliveira's performance against Max Holloway, and Oliveira's wife fired back. Hoofy said Charles did what nobody expected, which was to stick to him from start to finish. If you go in just to grab someone, in the UFC business you end up losing opportunities. Charles' wife fired back saying, then let's schedule a boxing match. Because if you want to fight, this is f***ing MMA. There will be jiu-jitsu. Hoofy, don't come trying to surf on my husband's wave, because he has more submissions than you have fights.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching.
There you go, Adrian.
Look here.
I had that video ready, and then when you mentioned the alpha, you know what? That video works well with what you just said. So talk to me.
I think with that situation, Charles Oliveira's wife, I think she was just kind of backing up her husband. I don't think she was necessarily calling any shots for him or trying to set up any fights. I think it was more of like, hey, don't talk to my husband that way. Like back off. If you have a big mouth, then let's settle it or whatever. Like prove your point or whatever. But let's talk in a general perspective here. I don't want to.
In general,
I don't want to call out names.
Yeah. I hear it.
I do feel that sometimes a woman can be either something positive and beneficial to a man's career, or they can be something negative and they can actually break it down. So you can't, like some women, what they do is they try and live through their husband's career, and they call the shots, and they're the manager, and they do this and they do that, and the husband's like a little mouse and he just follows and says, yes, man, no, man, I'll do it.
I was about to fucking type it. What the cuck? Oh my gosh.
So I think, that saying, behind every successful man is a strong woman, or I don't know how it goes, but behind every great man is a great woman. Well, I believe the opposite as well. But behind every man's downfall can also be a woman that causes that downfall.
That's too.
So you have to be careful with who it is that you allow into your circle, whether it be a girlfriend or wife or whatever the case may be. And as a man, or even vice versa, even if you're a woman and you've got the man in the background trying to call shots for you, if it's your career and you worked hard enough to get there, then at the same time you need to draw the line and be like, listen, this is my business, I'll deal with it, I'll manage it, I'll handle it. But I feel like some people don't have a backbone, and then the other person comes in and they're like, I'll take over everything and I'll do this and I'll speak for you and I'll say this and this is my opinion and we don't move unless I go blah, 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 blah. Then I think it can be detrimental to your career or your life, whatever the case may be. But in the case of Charles Oliveira and his wife, I think she was just trying to stand up for her husband. I don't think she was trying to cause any shots, like call any shots there or like speak above Charles or anything like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I just wanted to get your take on it. I don't feel one way or the other about it. Just wanted to get your perspective on it.
Can we all agree that Hoofy would do bad, terrible, horrible fucking things to him in a boxing match, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you ever watched that guy spar? Just doing stand-up? It's disgusting.
Like Du Bronx's wife said, if you want to do boxing, go sign up for boxing. We don't do boxing over here. We do jiu-jitsu over here. You know what I'm trying to say? So you gotta be MMA.
Yeah. That's my thing.
That's
like,
what you signed up for.
She's standing up for Charles, saying like, listen, you're a boxer. Go comment and criticize boxers. We do MMA. This is MMA. Unless you know something about MMA and jiu-jitsu, then we'll probably take your opinion into account. But because you're a boxer, shut up and sit down. That's basically what she's saying. And I can agree with that. I would let my wife say that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. There you go. Shout out to everybody that's been locked in with us. We are 1 hour 25 minutes with us, and Adrian still with that gold on his shoulder.
Legend
has not gone Hollywood on us. I love it, man. Thank you so much for your time. You're always generous with your time, my brother. All in as well. You know what I mean? Thank you for pulling up. Look at that. He brought the belt home. He promised he was going to bring it, and the belt is here with the champ. Salute to you, my brother.
A thunder strike, like a thunder or lightning strike.
Oh, I'll get that one for next time. I will get a thunder for next time.
Yes.
Yeah, man. That's the son of thunder.
We need that. We need that for the next time you're on the show.
You've got the permission for the son of thunder, man. You know what I mean? You got the permission right there. Yeah, man. And yeah, people, up onto the next video. We're out of here. Salute. Peace.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.